Hi, welcome to my studio and my channel, my little place on the internet. I started this channel to make sure I, as an artist, was represented on the internet, which I know everyone says, but I'm a longtime fan of artist YouTube. Never really saw someone like me on YouTube, and I think it's because my process is not aesthetically pleasing. I'm inherently messy. The art process is not clean. And I feel like I saw a lot of that, of this like forced narrative that art has to be clean for some reason, and like the space has to be clean, and you keep up with the paint mess or the drawing mess, and that's just not realistic for me. It was honestly making filming way more difficult because I didn't feel like I could be me and create the way I always have. So I wanted to start this YouTube channel to make sure artists like me and collectors knew the truth behind my process. And it's that I'm freaking messy. I want to take you through the process of creating my recent piece. It is done in a very tiny little guy frame, and the process was so fun. It came from my recent thrift haul, and I hope you enjoy it. See you around. Okay, we've arrived at Ye Old Thrift Shop, and this is my first time stopping in, so I didn't know what to expect, but guys, look at all the frames. I was so geeked, and the prices so good. This little Renoir moment, she was the most expensive, but hello, here I am. That frame was $20, guys. It's huge. Unfortunately, my phone died, so I don't have footage of the Goodwill, but here's the haul. Goodwill and thrifting mission today. Let me show you what I got. I'm so excited. First off, the non-thrifting things. I did go to Michael's. I went to the Michael's in the Villages, Florida, and I have never seen a more stocked Michael's. Holy shit. I'm jealous. So I got some high gloss varnish, Windsor, really good brand. I use it for sealing my oil pastels, like those three back there, awaiting patiently, and Medusa, waiting patiently for this varnish. I also got a small version of my tone tan paper that I pretty much do all oil pastel and colored pencil on. I hate white paper. It really is the bane of my existence. So whenever I can, I use a toned either tan, gray, or black paper just to give me a nice base. It's kind of the equivalent of when you see artists do like the tan glazing of a canvas, or like pink or whatever color they pick. It gives the same vibe. So it's a nice undertone to everything. On that same vein, they were buy one get one half off, I think. So I also got a small little black mixed media, which I've never seen before, so I'm really excited about those. I'm lazy and I hate having to cut down my paper. I know I could save so much money by doing so. I'm lazy. So anything that will get me to painting, coloring faster, I'm getting it, okay? This size, perfect. And it has the little, like, I don't have to mess around with perforated journal pages, which is really exciting. 6x8. Weird size, but sure. Okay, and then I got some more blending stomps. I can't find in store, like, what I went to Michael's for was the little sandpaper stick to clean these off, because I have all of these that are just dirty that I need to buff up and clean, and I can't find it anywhere. It comes in a set, but like I don't want to spend $20 to get the little thingy, so probably gonna have to order it. It's fine. Now for the good stuff, the frames. Okay, so I went to Ye Old Thrift Shop. That's literally the name. Crazy. And it was so good. They had so many frames for like really cheap. Wow, my hair is getting crazier by the minute. Anyway, so many frames, really good pricing, and really good quality frames. So I will be going back. Pretty great. My first one, look how cute she is. Just a little guy. Actually pretty high quality wood. I usually try to look for frames that aren't going to cause me immense pain trying to clean. Also, I didn't realize this was like a real like vintage photo. Oh, I might have to keep that. I love old shit. You guys probably know that by now. Anyway, I love old shit. Wow, so cute. It's not a tin type, which at first I thought it was, but it's not. That's okay. Anyway, she's not going to abuse me when I try to clean her. And she also came with a little cardboard backing to keep this guy in, which is exciting. I don't know what I'm gonna paint in her yet, but she's super cute and I love a miniature. So that's one. Two, again, very exciting. $3. $3 for, they don't really make frames high quality anymore. Like when you go and just buy a frame at Michael's or Marshall's or wherever, TJ Maxx, they're really low quality frames. The wood is really bad. So unless you go to an actual framer and you spend $100, $200 to get your artwork framed or pictures framed, you're not going to find really high quality frames anymore. They just don't make them. Or they're $1 million. So that was honestly why I started thrifting frames for my artwork. Less out of like necessity and more out of just cost. And then I just became addicted to it because each frame has its own character. And so it really inspires the artwork. And I'm really excited that I now have another thrift shop I can go to find these. So anyway, it does have a saw hook on the back, which I'm not a huge fan of. A saw hook is this, for anyone curious. Galleries won't usually hang with sawtooth. They will hang with picture wire or like the canvas stretcher bars, which I don't usually paint or draw on canvas. So for me, that means picture frame wire. Which means you have to have a pretty high quality frame to allow for the D-rings to be screwed into the back. This one, pretty nice. I honestly, when I picked it up, I was like, do I need to paint that frame? It's kind of that old school 90s, like yellowish. I don't have a frame to compare it to, but I think I might leave it. I kind of like it. The rounded edges are really fun. The mat is in decent condition, but I think there might be a couple marks on it. And if there is, I will either paint the mat or toss it into one of my personal collection, because it is still pretty decent. I like the size of the mat for the frame too. It's kind of fun. I think this is it's not a 5x7, 4x6 maybe? It's kind of an odd size actually, looking at it. Anyway, $3! $3! So exciting. The backing needs a new back, but normally I will put paper on the backs of them and then do the D-rings. So usually it's fine. Okay, anyway, moving on. From the last one that I got from Ye Old Thrift Shop is this one, which is stunning. She was $10, so she was a little pricey. But the wood is such good quality. Like the frame itself is really good quality. Unfortunately, the Renoir, which I love his work. So I will be taking the print out of the frame. Anyway, moving on. I will be hanging this print up in my personal collection, but the frame and the mat are really, really nice. It's in really, really good shape. The back is gonna be a bitch. Someone taped along the entire thing. And then it also has a sawtooth that will need to come out. But luckily this one looks like it's just nailed in there, so it should be decently easy to get off. And then I will definitely need to replace the back piece because she's covered in Renoir explanations. So yeah, this one is definitely going to take me some time to do all of that, but I couldn't resist. The mat's so pretty. It's calling my name to fill this guy, and I love the size of it. So yeah, that was all from ye old thrift shop. I did go to the Village's Goodwill, which sticker shock up the ass. But luckily their frames weren't priced as bad as everything else. Wow, we are just losing strands left and right, falling apart. Anyway, so first one is just this basic wood frame. Always good to have on hand. I could put D hooks on it, but I might just sell this one to you guys and not worry about putting it in any galleries. $3.99, kind of pricey. I try to avoid paying more than like $2, $3 for these, but the wood was really good quality, so had to get her. These two are not wood frames. I know you're surprised. Okay, they're not wood frames. She's so freaking cute. Oh my gosh. Kind of like an Art Nouveau style. Stunning. It is metal for $2. What a steal. The only thing I'm slightly concerned with is she is a hot mess express on this glass. I think it's all just dirt. So once we clean her up, we will see what we're left with, but may need a piece of replacement glass. But we'll see. I'm so excited. I feel very inspired by this one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the inside yet, but she's pretty cool. Next, also a very exciting one, is this little rose gal. She's so fun. She has a velvet backing that's actually in really good shape. Normally the velvet backs of these frames get so gross and you can't really clean velvet. So I normally have to pass on them because I don't think you guys would want dirty frames in your house. But this one was really pricey, $7. We're not gonna talk about it. I love it. It's so pretty. It's begging for a charcoal drawing or just like a pencil drawing in it. I'm so excited. It's gonna look so good. Anyway, Goodwill is this gal. She's she is quite hefty. Just a nice quality wood frame with a nice mat. It looks like I can probably reuse the mat. I can't tell if most of this is on the glass or the mat, but I could possibly, depending on what it looks like once I get her cleaned up. It did have another artist sign print in it though. This one is 177 out of 1,000. Potter's Retreat by Colette King. I have personally not heard of her, but if you have, let me know. It's some sort of very low quality print, respectfully. It's kind of like bending. I don't know if you can see that. It's like bending in the middle, which means the paper it's on is rough. She will need a new back, but she was $6, so she was definitely worth her price. And the sawtooth is going to come off really easily. Like, it's practically off already, so I could put some D-rings on this and a backing. So I'm very excited about that one. Yeah, that was my haul. I am going to one and do the rest of this video drawing the picture that's going in it. And then y'all can see the entire process, which is quite fun. In my next video though, the demoing, whatever, this wall here, because hang on to your hats. Hang on to your hats, folks. She's rebranding, okay? Not that she had a brand to begin with. My brand was always just like maroon, as you can see, my tablecloth and my website, maroon. But she's getting a brand, and the brand is Frame. And you're like, Brittany, Frame? That's not a brand, that's a thing. And I know, but come with me. You just watched me, okay, talk about all these fuck-ass frames in this video. Now we're going to take everything out of these frames, and then we're gonna hang them all up on the wall, naked. And I know what you're thinking, Brittany. What? Why are you doing that? Well, having all of these frames around, not my favorite thing in the world. So I need a place to store them, but I also want this wall to be better, and I feel that adding most of the blank frames along with some of the artwork that I personally didn't make might make me happier. And as a brand, we are moving towards frames as a brand in general, because your girl be thrifting, and I really like the idea of always shipping you guys original artwork that's already in a frame, and I don't do that currently. As of January 30th, I am not doing that, and I feel like I just get so nervous about shipping artwork that doesn't have something like protecting it. The mail is very unpredictable, and shipping it pre-framed is much better. I can bubble wrap the crap out of it, and if the glass does break, that's so much easier to replace than the artwork. So I'm even playing around with the idea of offering some framed prints in the future, because I feel like part of what's really cool about my process is thrifting the frame that then inspires the artwork. So you can get a frame and a print. But we might do just like limited, like 1 or 2 per print. Let me know how you feel about that idea, actually, because I'm just tossing her around. So yeah, that was my haul, and now you're gonna watch me demo these frames. Hello, it's me. So you're currently watching me take apart all of these frames, which is arguably my least favorite part of this process, but it has to be done. So starting with this pain in the ass little guy up there, but I finally got it, as you can see. I am using, I don't know, some kind of knife that I got from a silverware set from ages ago to undo all of the little metal strippy things. I don't know what the correct term is. You tell me. And we got the first mat out. Unfortunately, it was a little beat up, so she will not be used in a future piece. Moving on to the Renoir. This guy honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I really thought that tape was going to take off the stain or leave like a gross residue on this frame. And honestly, it came off really, really clean, and I am super happy about it. The backing of this is, as you are starting to see, is the actual like little front that comes with the frame, which made me giggle. So good for him repurposing the backing like that. So finally getting that off. See, 11 by 14. Love to see it. And there was even a little fake mat in there on the back. Unfortunately, when I tried to get the print out, it did rip a little bit underneath the mat. So I will probably just put it in a smaller frame for my personal collection because she's still so pretty and so cute. This mat wasn't bad, so probably will reuse her. I like her green inner edge with the white combo, really speaking to me. Not sure what it's saying yet, but that'll be in a different video. All of these frames, by the way, cleaned up so nice, and you'll see in a couple minutes when we get to actually cleaning up the frames. But I was very impressed. It was so nice. Also, I haven't mentioned it yet, but I will put on the screen. I'm a big fan of any of the mats that are dirty, or maybe they're just not in the best condition, but they're pretty solid structurally. I will wrap them with fabric or paint them. And honestly, the fabric wrapped framing is one of my favorites, and I don't do it often enough. So this project and this process is really inspiring me to start wrapping more mats with fabric, and I'm very excited to start experimenting with that. But everything else is so easy for the most part. I do always get very nervous taking off those Goodwill stickers because for some reason on a lot of these frames it takes off the material. So I was so happy when it didn't do that to that little wood frame guy. So yeah, we're gonna move on to cleaning. This is my second least favorite, however you would like to say it, part of the process. It is probably more satisfying for you guys to watch, but it is a pain in my butt. So I hope you enjoy the slight ASMR of watching this process. Is that the right terminology for this? ASMR? Isn't that when it like sounds good? Is it just aesthetically pleasing when you watch me clean things? This isn't even aesthetic. Like, I didn't even try to set up shop in an aesthetically pleasing way. Maybe that'll happen in future videos, but not today. You saw me look at my thumb, and you'll see me look at my thumb multiple times through this. That's because that glass cut the living shit out of me. So if you're gonna do this yourself, make sure you are careful and not a dumbass like me. But anyway, this, my little favorite guy here, cleaned up so well. She's so pretty. So excited for her. Honestly, the best part of these is when they were completely clean and all side by side next to each other. And honestly, wiping off the Windex foam is also kind of nice. But holding those pieces of glass, because a lot of them are older, they clearly have been hand cut like pieces of glass, so the glass edges are so sharp. So be warned if you're also going to thrift your own frames, because they fight back. You can see me using some Goo Gone to get whatever crap was on the inside of this glass. Some sticker residue, I'm sure. But yeah, just cleaning these guys up. Awaiting the final process for these guys. Honestly, yes, I hate this, but at the same time, when I'm cleaning them, I start to think about what I want to put inside them and what I want to draw for them, which is great. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. I hope you like and subscribe for more frame content, more art content. This is the part that I think everyone will really enjoy. So I picked this frame from our haul, this little itty bitty guy. That sticker beat me up, by the way. This footage is cut down from probably 10 minutes of me fiddling with this stupid sticker. But anyway, when I first saw this frame, I was like, oh my god, it looks like a little baby window. And I kind of went with that idea of this being a window frame. So as I clean her up, I was thinking about the composition and what I wanted to put inside her. But yeah, most of this is just me cleaning up this glass, a little ASMR tinkering around. I put that black paper under there because you could not see the glass at all. It looked like I was just hovering. I was just holding air. So hopefully this is a little better for your viewing pleasure. Ew, I didn't like that. Anyway, so cleaning up the glass, same process you just watched basically. But as I am thinking about this, I really am excited to put this one on my wall and kind of jealous of whoever ends up with her. By the time you watch this video, I should have her up on my website, so go check her out if you like the end result of the art piece. Alright, you've made it to the best part of this video, in my opinion. I'm starting with some toned tan paper, which is my absolute favorite to draw with Prismacolors on. I love that it's not blazing white underneath and allows me to get my depth correct, and it's just more comfortable, honestly. Starting with a ruler, I'm just marking out how big our little frame is, so that way I don't waste my time and energy coloring that in something that's not even going to exist in the final piece. This is not perfect by any means. I threw that ruler down and was like, yeah, that's good enough. Now I'm realizing that I still need the ruler to outline the window frame that I'm about to draw. The inspiration is kind of window frame for a tiny animal. I felt like that's kind of where my brain was headed, so I'm picturing a cute little Italian villa inspired window with a nice basket of flowers attached to it in very bright colors. So that's kind of where my head was at as I'm sketching out this little window guy. So yeah, just finishing him up, doing some brief outlines of the actual frame, and then moving on to the curtains that I'm picturing. Also, my process is not ironed out in the slightest. I feel like every time I sit down to do an art piece, I change how I like to do it. This time I looked up some different reference photos just to make sure I was on track with the window, and looked up some references of how the light was going to be hitting the wall. But other than that, I didn't really have a particular reference I was going off of. So you can see here I'm starting in with some blue, some bright blue. The really fun part about Prismacolors is they are so silky soft. So blending is so much easier with Prismacolor than any other colored pencil I've ever had. My Grandma Jo was actually the first person to give me my first set of Prismacolors, and that was back when they were twice the width that they are currently. And I know that's hard to picture, but I still have them, so maybe I'll show it in another video. It's kind of crazy how large they were, and the formula pretty much stays consistent through the years. They haven't changed very much, but I do really miss the bright, vibrant fluorescence and metallics that they had in that set. I think it was a set of like 100 colored pencils, and I used those for probably 10 years before I even bought another set of pencils. So they lasted a very long time, and I still have most of them. Obviously the white, the black, your typical base colors I ran out of ages ago. Just a little different view here. you can see on the right, that is the large Prismacolor set. And you can see how out of order all of the colors are. This is what I'm talking about when I say I am not perfect. My process is not perfect. I am a mess, guys. I literally don't care if the colors are next to each other, and I know that will piss a lot of people off. It's not aesthetic. I don't keep it aesthetic because I just want to finish it up. That was a massive time jump, by the way, but here's what we've got going. I started drawing with indigo blue instead of black. That was that little frustration you just saw there. And then now I'm going in with pastel on top, oil pastel. Oil pastel has quickly become my favorite medium, and I'm really excited to keep experimenting with it. Like, this is the first time I've done oil pastel over top of Prismacolor, and I am obsessed. I love that you can get some great detail with the colored pencils before putting more of the like messy impressionistic style strokes on top of it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going in with different colors, layering the colors up, create some nice dimension. I am down to that small little nub of white, which is so frustrating. The white runs out so quickly in oil pastels. I gotta get some more, but we gotta use it up, man. So yeah, now I'm gonna test fit with our little frame. She looks so good, and here's the finished product. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more thrift and painting content.